Yo, what's going on, guys? It's time for another reaction video, and this is coming from the YouTube channel The Supreme. So if you like this video, make sure to go check out The Supreme. And it is 10 mysterious events that will make you question reality. Let's see what this is all about.
We are living in an enlightened age. There has never been a better time in history for humans. With science and technology, we're able to understand our surroundings better than ever. However, every so often, something will happen that will totally stump us. Sometimes something so strange will happen that we will question everything we know. Today's video is the top 10 mysterious events that will make you question reality. If anyone has an explanation for what they see, then go ahead and let us know. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to The Supreme, and click the notification bell for more lit content.
Like they said, if you have an explanation for anything you see in this video, comment below and let me know.
Let's get rolling. Number 10. The falling blackbirds. Shortly before midnight on New Year's Eve in 2011, thousands of blackbirds fell from the sky, landing lifeless on the ground. The mysterious event happened in the town of Beebe in Arkansas, United States. The next day, a cleanup operation was underway, and 5,000 fallen birds were counted. The birds were found to have suffered blunt force trauma, colliding with trees, cars, and buildings. Initially, fireworks were blamed, but the story gets even weirder. Around the same time of year, 100,000 drumfish washed up on the banks of the Arkansas River. It is thought that they have been infected with a mysterious disease. The two incidents happened just 125 miles away from each other.
Just in the last week here, I'm in Houston, Texas, and south of me 1 hour is Galveston, Texas. And along the island or somewhere in that area, thousands and thousands of fish washed ashore dead. I didn't really ever go check out the article and see if there was an explanation behind it, but it was creepy. The video clips is just endless fish for as far as you can see, just all washing ashore. So if you're local and you know what happened, tell me about that in the comments if you know what happened in Galveston in the last week or so.
And some people genuinely thought it was a sign of the end of times. Adding to the mystery even further, the same thing happened again on the anniversary of the first incident. On New Year's Day 2012, blackbirds began falling out of the sky just like the year before, except this year, fireworks had been banned to stop a repeat of the incident. It happened anyway, but why? Well, we don't really know. Similar shocking events have been reported across the world, including in Australia in July 2019, when dozens of birds dropped down, having appeared to be poisoned. Number 9. The change of the humpbacks. Whales have been around for 50 million years, so when they start changing their behavior after all that time, something strange is definitely afoot. Recently, it was reported that humpback whales have been forming supergroups, which is very odd behavior for the typically solitary creatures.
Do you imagine you're just like out in the water and that massive amount of that gigantic creature just comes up on you? I've seen some videos of people like on paddle boards and kayaks, and one might be kind of hovering below them and not really necessarily bothering them, but when you see the size comparison, they could just wipe you out like that. They could come up and eat you, right? So imagine you're just out in the water and like 20 of those things just pop up. That's got to be pretty scary.
Supergroups, which is very odd behavior for the typically solitary creatures who only come together to breed. Marine biologists have noticed large groups of whales ranging from 20 to 200 traveling together at a time. They have also been noted to have strayed thousands of miles away from their usual feeding grounds, and many have altered their whale songs. While the change in tune is thought to be in response to the sounds of new ships in the oceans, scientists can't yet explain why their behavior has changed so drastically.
Maybe there's a bigger predator that we aren't aware of that is coming after them, and so they're teaming up to protect themselves, and we just haven't discovered that bigger predator yet. Now that would be scary, wouldn't it?
Researchers working on putting together the answers have called the change novel and intense. Whatever is going on with the humpback whales seems to be working though. Unlike most sea species, their numbers are increasing. Before we move on to number 8, I want to talk about this image that was found on the internet. Now, obviously it can't be real, because if it was, we would all likely be gone right now. For the planet Saturn to be that close to Earth would mean it would be on course to hit and destroy us. By that point, our gravity would be all out of whack too. As cool as seeing another planet up close would be, we don't want our solar system to be disrupted, as it would ruin our place in orbit, which would be a total disaster. Number 8. The Potamiskiv crater, nicknamed the Fire Eagle's Nest because of its peculiar shape, was discovered in 1949 by a Russian geologist. The strange rock formation in Irkutsk, Siberia was given its name because of its extremely strange look. It looks like a giant bird's nest with an egg inside it. What happens if it hatches? The crater is around 500 feet in diameter and is thought to be approximately 250 years old.
Wow.
But nobody knows exactly.
If you didn't have perspective, the fact that it's 500 feet in diameter, it looks like an ant pile in a backyard. Looks like it's like this big. But knowing that that thing is 500 feet in diameter is insane.
Thought to be approximately 250 years old, but nobody knows exactly how old it really is. They also have no idea how it got there. There are a number of theories circulating, and some people think it was a slag heap, although historians say that the population in the area was never big enough for that scale of industrial effort. Others say that the formation was made by a volcano, but none have been found nearby. The area has low background radiation, which has led some to speculate it could have been a nuclear testing site. Some people think it is straight up the work of aliens. The story of the crater gets even weirder than that. It seems that it is alive. The crater rises and falls and changes shape, and trees within its vicinity grow really quickly.
Interesting.
Number 7. Struck. Roy C. Sullivan is the late Guinness World Record holder for most lightning strikes survived. Shockingly, Sullivan was struck 7 times in his life, defying the most unlikely of odds.
What the hell is going on in this poor guy that he got struck 7 freaking times? Like, does he have some weird electric, magnetic field that attracts lightning to him? I don't say that as a joke. I mean, like, I've known a lot of people that have done a lot of things. I've never met a single person who's been struck by lightning, let alone this poor guy struck 7 times.
Sullivan was struck 7 times in his life, defying the most unlikely of odds. Roy was a park ranger in Virginia and had a reputation for being the unluckiest man in the world. He was first struck in 1942.
I don't know about unlucky. If he survived them all 7 times, he must be pretty darn lucky. But if he's a park ranger, this is starting to make a little bit more sense now if he's outside a lot.
Reputation for being the unluckiest man in the world. He was first struck in 1942, then again in 1969. His bad luck ramped up in the 1970s when he was struck a further 5 times. His last strike left him with a nasty chest and stomach burns. Being struck by lightning means being hit with 100 million volts of electricity, and it is miraculous that he survived. Why Sullivan was such a good conductor, we don't know. The vast majority of people will go their entire lives without encountering a single lightning strike. In fact, the odds of ever being struck are just 1 in 3,000. To be struck over a half dozen times is so unlikely that it's almost ludicrous. While Sullivan survived being struck by lightning again and again, unfortunately, being love-struck led him to his end. It is reported he took his own life after being romantically rejected. How sad. Number 6. The fish frozen in time. Can you imagine taking a scenic stroll along a beach and finding fish frozen mid-leap in a vertical ice wave? It looks like the Snow Queen had walked by and turned the world into ice. Kindergarten teacher and amateur photographer Kelly Priam was walking by South Dakota's Lake Andes National Wildlife Refuge in March of 2015 when she snapped this picture. She waited.
It doesn't even look real. It looks like when you're in a museum and they use like clear acrylic plastic to show layers of something to make it look like water and the fish are jumping. That's what that looks like. It doesn't even look real. That's insane. Have you if you've ever seen the movie I think it's The Day After Tomorrow with Jake Gyllenhaal, I believe. And everything's like freezing. The temperatures are so cold that the instant that that cold barrier gets to you, it freezes everything. That's what that looks like. Like it was so cold that it just froze immediately.
In March of 2015, when she snapped this picture. She waited 2 years to share it online, but when she did, people were horrified. Speaking to news publications, she said that there were thousands of frozen fish on the beach. How did this happen? Well, the theory is that thick snowfall covered the surface of the frozen lake and prevented sunlight from getting down below into the water. This in turn disrupted photosynthesis for algae and other water plants, which meant that the fish suffocated from the lack of oxygen. How they got into the formation they were in when the photograph was taken is a much bigger mystery. Number 5. The sky trumpets. Sky trumpets are a phenomenon that have occurred across the world. People from Canada, Germany, Sweden, the United Kingdom, the United States, and Australia have all reported hearing trumpet-like sounds in the air. In Gothenburg, one concerned citizen recorded the phenomenon and uploaded the video to YouTube in 2018, where it amassed over 100,000 views. The trumpets sound like a bad day at band practice, and as of yet, nobody can explain what they are and where they might be coming from. Some people think that
I've heard these before, and I think I've even heard like a montage of different locations of these, and yeah, it's, to date, all the ones that have been shared have yet to been discovered what's causing the noise.
Some people think that they are biblical, 7 trumpets of the apocalypse, and others think they are alien sounds coming from space. Number 4. The breathing earth. This is absolutely insane.
Not my first time seeing this one. It's got an explanation, but even with the explanation, it's still crazy.
In 2018, John Arthur captured a video of the earth breathing on camera. I don't know about you, but since watching The Wizard of Oz as a kid, I've always been a bit scared of forest trees coming alive. This forest in Sacré-Cœur in Quebec certainly does look like it's alive to me. The video shows the ground rising and falling as if the earth is breathing. What is going on? This looks like something from a Harry Potter novel or a sci-fi movie. According to scientists, the strange occurrence is actually explainable. They say that events like this occur when the ground is saturated and the conditions are very windy. The inhaling and exhaling is actually the work of strong winds pulling the trees upward, along with the forest floor. This is just as scary as the earth breathing, as it means a tree could easily topple over.
Yeah, it's like the roots under the tree. The tree is moving, and so the roots are pulling up and down, which is pulling up and down the dirt. Only reason I'm familiar with this is because I live in Houston, Texas, where we've experienced hurricanes somewhat regularly. And after heavy storms, you'll see sometimes like an entire yard pulled up along with the tree. So the tree will be, I did that kind of backwards. Here's the tree goes over, right? And so all of the yard would be here, right? The whole yard is attached to the tree, sometimes like 10, 15 foot diameter of grass and lawn attached to the base of the tree. So in this instance, they're just not falling over completely, but they're lifting up and down.
You don't want to be standing there with your camera if that happens. Number 3. The Battle of Los Angeles. One of the strangest events in American history took place on the evening of the 24th of February, 1942, and lasted until the early hours of the next day. The mysterious event took place amid the Second World War at a time that the United States had just entered into war with Japan, following the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. Tensions were running high, and naval intelligence issued a warning that an attack was imminent. That night, flares and blinking lights were seen in the sky, causing air raid sirens to sound. A total blackout of the city was ordered, and the United States military started shooting at objects and lights in the sky. The strange thing is, nothing came down. There were no shots fired at the defending military, and no aircraft were taken down by the American bullets. The incident was front-page news, and weirdly, the next day, it was all declared a false alarm. A lot of people accused the United States government of hushing up the news for some reason or another. The strangest thing of all is that there were hundreds of eyewitnesses who claimed to have seen the lights that night, including military members who were adamant that they shot at aircraft.
I bet you somebody got panicked, started firing off rounds. The rounds are in the skies illuminating, fire and glare. So then they start shooting at those rounds, and the next thing you know, another group is shooting at another set of rounds, and so you got all this fire power in the air, which gives the impression that there's lights, but in reality it's just all their own ammunition and bullets that are flying through the sky and lighting up the sky and triggering another person to then shoot up at that one. That's what I would think took place.
Number 2, the city in the sky. Are we living in a parallel universe? In October 2015, something deeply mysterious was seen in the clouds over the Chinese city of Fujian. Looking up into the sky, hundreds of people reported seeing a city rising in the mist.
Now that's crazy right there. That looks like something straight out of a video game, like a hovering city or something. How do you explain this one? Let's see what explanation they give.
Looking up into the sky, hundreds of people reported seeing a city rising in the mist. Video evidence of the phenomenon was recorded and uploaded to YouTube and was shared all over Chinese news outlets. There were a lot of theories as to what the city in the sky might be. Some say it was evidence of a parallel universe. Some thought it was some kind of religious second coming. And some even pointed their fingers at NASA for projecting holograms into the sky. It turns out it was likely a mirage called Fata Morgana. This happens when light rays are bent by dense air in warm conditions. Whatever it was certainly very weird. And a very similar incident took place in another Chinese city just 2 years later.
It's all that damn pollution they got over there in their sky. And the way the light is reflecting off of it, I don't know. But yeah, quit polluting.
A very similar incident took place in another Chinese city just 2 years later. Coincidence or a sign? Number 1, the space roar. Space is a vacuum, which means it should be silent. It isn't. While sound waves can't travel very well through space, radio waves can, and they have been. But where are they coming from? Good question. Scientists say that most objects in the known universe emit radio waves, including stars. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, is said to give off a cosmic hiss. There is one sound, though, that is bothering scientists across the world. In 2008, NASA started discussing a space roar, a booming sound 6 times louder than anything they expected to hear. It seems that analysts ruled out other stars and galaxies. Some believe it could be from a giant burst of radiation, possibly left over from the Big Bang. 10 years have passed since it was first discovered, and we still don't know what's causing it. It goes to show there is so much about our universe that we simply do not know. Anything could be possible out there, and many people are wondering what exactly the universe is shouting at us. The question is, are we ready to know the answer? So that was 10 mysterious events that will make you question reality.
Wow. So, yeah, that was a cool video. It brought some questions to mind for me, and that is, do you believe that there is something more than just Earth with life on it, so whether you want to call that aliens or other life, or whatever, do you believe there's something out there, if it's not in the immediate surrounding planets, maybe another galaxy or somewhere beyond? And for me, the answer is I would find it hard to believe that there is not some other form of life out there. Maybe they're aware of us, and they're more advanced than us possibly, but they're just leaving us alone. Or maybe we're more advanced than them, and they don't know we exist, and to date we don't know that they exist. I don't know. It's weird to think, because when you think of space, it almost seems like it's endless, right? Like there's no end. There's no wall. There's no barrier that says, "Oh, that's the end of it. We got to the end of it." You know, planets are circular, so you can start and finish. You know, where if you were to circle the entire planet, but space is just endless space. And it's weird to think, like when they were showing those pictures a minute ago of like the galaxy, something like that, right? That could just go forever. Like, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but my basically, I want you guys to tell me your thoughts. Do you believe there's something more than us out there? If you're new here and you like this video, please subscribe, click the bell so you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. Give it a thumbs up. It does help. And I already asked you what to comment. And yeah, we'll wrap it up here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.